3 kilometers beneath the surface of the Atlantic lies an environment 1,000 times larger than every forest, grassland, and savanna combined. Down here, the temperature hovers near freezing, the pressure is hundreds of times what we feel at the beach, and the water is permanently dark. Suspended in this blackness is a female anglerfish. She does not chase, she does not stalk, she waits, floating in absolute stillness, listening for the slight implosive rush of water that signals a meal. Her existence is defined by profound biological isolation. Across the immense volume of the abyss, the population of her specific species is staggeringly thin. There are estimated to be several kilometers of completely empty ocean between her and the nearest female of her kind. To survive in this habitat, she must navigate the total absence of light and overcome the mathematical improbability of ever crossing paths with another living thing. The first requirement for survival grows out of her forehead. A modified spine extends outward and ends in a small, swollen bulb called the esca. This bulb glows with a soft blue-green bioluminescence, acting as a lure in the dark. But she does not generate this light herself. Inside that bulb is a densely packed community of glowing bacteria that she farms in exchange for providing them with shelter and oxygen. Until 2019, researchers assumed this bacteria was handed down from parent to child. It is not. A baby anglerfish hatches with an empty lantern. She spends a year or two drifting in the upper layers of the deep sea, waiting to catch her specific bacteria directly from the open water. The bacteria she needs have evolved to extreme specialization. Relying entirely on a host fish for oxygen, these bacteria have shed half their genome, losing the ability to live independently. This fragile dependency means only 8% of deep-water samples contain them. Yet, in the cold middle of nowhere, the two find each other. The drifting bacteria settle into the cup of her empty esca. The fish provides an oxygen supply, and her lantern finally ignites. Farming this stolen light provides a reliable way to attract prey to her jaws, but it does nothing to narrow the search for a mate in a boundless, pitch-black void. That task falls to the male of the species, an animal so physically different he looks like a different species entirely. He is a fraction of the female size. He has no glowing lure. His stomach and intestines are practically non-existent. He has no hunting equipment because he will never hunt. His entire body is built around enormous nostrils. He is effectively a tiny swimming nose, perfectly attuned to sniff out a single specific molecule in the dark, the pheromone of a female. Since he cannot process food, his lifespan is a strict countdown. He is swimming through the largest environment on Earth, aging solely on the borrowed energy reserves he retained from his larval stage. If he does not find a mate before those reserves run out, he will starve. Against staggering odds, a few males manage to follow a faint chemical trail. When he finally locates a female in the abyss, he swims directly up to her flank and bites down. This bite initiates a sequence of events that defies the established rules of vertebrate biology. Over the following days, enzymes in his mouth completely dissolve the tissue connecting his lips to her skin. His jaw muscles atrophy, his eyes degenerate. The blood vessels in his face grow outward and meet the vessels in her side, linking them into a single shared circulatory system. This physical fusion creates a massive immunological paradox. For any standard vertebrate, attaching foreign tissue to a body triggers an immediate, aggressive, and fatal rejection response. In typical animals, B and T cells patrol the bloodstream to recognize and rip foreign tissue apart. In 2020, researchers sequencing their genome discovered that merging anglerfish have evolutionarily thrown away the genes that build these immune cells. They have abandoned their primary defense against basic infections. They survive only because the deep ocean is a freezing, sterile environment with incredibly low pathogen counts. They sacrifice their immunity to gain the ability to safely absorb a mate. The male voluntarily surrenders his own selfhood. He loses the ability to swim, see, or eat independently, becoming a life-sustaining, sperm-producing organ seamlessly integrated into the female. Abandoning the adaptive immune system is an extreme biological risk. It requires an overwhelming environmental pressure to force a species into such a drastic evolutionary corner. A 2024 genetic study from Yale University mapped exactly when this occurred. They traced the origins of sexual parasitism to a specific period between 35 and 50 million years ago. This was the Paleocene-Eocene Thermal Maximum. It was a sudden global warming event that heated the Earth's climate and turned the shallow, resource-rich upper seas hostile to life. This chart traces the migration. As surface temperatures rose, ancestral anglerfish fled downwards into the freezing depths. Isolated in this vast space, finding a mate became the primary barrier, forcing a rapid evolutionary radiation that split them into the hundreds of distinct species found today. The anatomy of the anglerfish is a direct survival response to this forced habitat displacement. Humans have historically labeled these fish as nightmares or devils, but from an evolutionary standpoint, a dissolved jaw and a shared bloodstream are the marks of a functional biological system. For centuries, our understanding of this process came from dead specimens. It wasn't until 2018 that a submersible team captured the first footage of a freely swimming anglerfish with a fused male, gliding calmly together. Right now, hidden in the depths of every ocean basin on Earth, millions of these merged pairs are navigating the dark. They are a living testament to a species that found a way to never lose each other in the most isolating environment on Earth.